With law enforcement resources stretched so thin along the border, some have started to take matters into their own hands, even setting up cameras with thermal imaging along the border. That, as you can see now, shows a group of people sneaking into the U.S. under the cover of darkness. This video was shot in March by a group called Texas Border Volunteers. Jim Gibson and Charles Gilbert are both with that group. They join us now. Thanks so much for coming.
Thank you for having us.
Let's get straight to this video. You were actually out there that night. What did you see?
That particular night, it was rather quiet, and then we got a call. We heard it over the radio. My group was positioned a little further to the north. And typically we give counts of the group so that Border Patrol has an idea of what they're going to be responding to. And as time wore on, the group got larger and larger and larger in terms of the count, and it was something that we had not seen before. In fact, it was only a couple of days before that we had a group of 41, and we thought that that was probably the biggest group we would ever see. And contrary to that, we had a group of 60, and then later on a group of 50.
How many people out of the group we just saw in the video got caught?
I believe that was a total of 110 reported.
And I believe there were 82 apprehensions?
82 apprehensions.
Now, how does this work? You know, Texas Border Patrols, you've been involved for many years. Talk about how many people you have and how do you go out and assist Border Patrol in catching these people?
We try to be the eyes and ears of Border Patrol while we're out there, additional. We've got probably 200 members throughout the group, and at any given watch, we get somewhere in the neighborhood of 25 to 35, maybe as high as 40. And we will normally post out at night. We have the ability with night vision and thermal imaging, as you've seen, that enables us to remain hidden and still be able to observe and report. And we will then, as Jim said, call that into Border Patrol. We will maintain visual on them for as long as we can and give Border Patrol direction, location, and hopefully Border Patrol will be there with ground units, sometimes with air units to spot, and hopefully they get the group picked up. Sometimes we see it happen and sometimes it doesn't happen until much later.
So you try to avoid confrontation?
Absolutely.
At all costs, yes.
Our mission is to observe and report. We occasionally work with Border Patrol. If they ask for our assistance, they're kind of our heroes. It's hard not for us to help, to want to help.
And how big is your group? How many volunteers do you have? Are they all from Texas, South Texas? Where do they come from?
No, actually we have members from California, Massachusetts, Florida, Wisconsin, Nebraska, Montana, Oklahoma, Missouri, and I'm probably leaving out some. But obviously these folks can't come down for every operation, so what they do is they'll save up their vacation time and come down once or twice a year. In Texas, our members are scattered all over the state. They come in from Midland, north of Dallas, up in the Sherman area, Dallas itself, Houston, the Tyler area, and San Antonio, of course.
Do you compensate people for their time, or is this solely volunteer?
No, it's strictly volunteer. Every volunteer pays his or her own way out of their pocket. And anything that we buy for the organization, as an organization, is paid for through donations. We're a 501c4, so we get no tax dollars, and we operate at our own expense. Let's
talk about something we saw when we were down in Brooks County a few weeks ago, immigrant deaths rising. That's something that you guys have encountered as well.
I've found personally one individual that had passed. The deaths were at a record last year. The fiscal year that Border Patrol counts, 129. And we're relatively certain that there were more, but often they never find the bodies.
Yeah, we're working on about 40,000 to 50,000 acres, and obviously there's some heavily dense areas out there that an individual could crawl into, and they may never be found. So we have no idea how many may still be out there.
Now, Brooks County, it's off of 281, and there's a checkpoint there in Falfurrias.
Right.
Why do you think that particular area is such a hot spot?
Basically because 281 is a corridor that's coming straight up from McAllen. South of that checkpoint is where the smugglers typically will drop their loads because they know they can't get them through the checkpoint. And what those individuals do is pick up coyotes, and they will guide them east and west into the ranches and then start moving them north to a point on the north side of the checkpoint where they have prearranged rides scheduled to pick them up. So, and you look at 281 on the map, it's a main artery, comes straight into San Antonio. You've got 59 that shoots off of it, takes you straight into Houston. So it's a natural avenue for smugglers to want to use.
Now, I know your video that you showed us is getting a lot of attention from lawmakers here locally and at the national level. What do you think can be done to stop this? What do you hope will be done?
I would personally, and this doesn't necessarily reflect the opinion of the group. Personally, I would like to see them turn off the magnets. I would like to see a comprehensive guest worker program. I would like to see E-Verify as a mandatory implementation for employment. But then I would like to also see them extend E-Verify to any entitlement programs, schools, medical attention. If you do not allow people to function in the country, then I believe they would go back. I believe they would self-deport and figure out a way to get here. And if you could do that, then you could take the resources that the government has right now and focus on the really bad characters, the people that keep a lot of us awake at night.
Our thanks to Jim Gibson and Charles Gilbert with the Texas Border Volunteers for sitting down with us. Still ahead, a beacon of hope for immigrants wandering the wilderness. We're exploring the Border Patrol's efforts to find them and keep them alive.